So today is a very special day in my life, and it's because it is my first day of therapy. I have been saying for years and years and years, I need therapy, I need therapy. Gone through, domestic violence, just having a child, just being a Black woman in America. I've been through a lot, and I have suppressed a lot of things, and I'm to the point now where the more work that I do on myself, the more work I'm realizing I have to do, and I don't necessarily have the tools to unpack the way that I know that I need to unpack, just to be one with self and to understand myself and understand my cycles, and also in order for me to level up, because I am realizing that I'm someone who is important to other people, and a lot of these people are strangers. So it's important for me to be able to work through my things so that I can have just the emotional vocabulary to tell my story, but also to help other people work through their things. And this week, I'm not going to get into really the details of what happened this week with me, because I have to respect other people's privacy, and I have to start to even respect my own privacy. I'm very transparent, and I'm just okay sometimes with just talking about the shit that I go through. But at the same point, there's some things that I need to keep for me and I need to work through. But what I would say is that when you don't, and I've heard this before, but it actually like manifested in my life. If you don't grieve through the things that you've been through, if you don't pay attention to your wounds, and if you're someone like me who, I choose optimism, I'm just like, okay, this is hurting me, this is upsetting me, I'm just gonna cut it off and I'm gonna go that way. I'm gonna like walk towards the light. It's okay to be optimistic, but you can't ignore the things that you have been through. You can't like glaze over them and act like they didn't happen, because what happens is after years and years of that, they pile up and they start to get heavy, and you don't even recognize it, but you realize you're in these different cycles, and you start to repeat the same things over and over, and you keep on hitting the same walls, and it's because you haven't worked through the things that you need to work through. And I hurt someone who I really love and care about, and because I really love and care about that person, it hurt me to the point where like this week, it just felt like somebody cut my chest open and exposed my heart and was like, okay, go walk through the world now. Like, I was hypersensitive, and because I was feeling that, it kind of forced me or made me feel all of the other things that I've been like trying not to feel. So this week was definitely like a very emotionally draining week, and ironically I had already scheduled my appointment with my therapist, and I'm very excited to start today, because this is like, when we talk about manifesting, which I always talk about, it's one of my favorite topics. When we talk about manifesting, it's more than just saying that you want something or visualizing that you want something. It's taking an action. So now I'm taking this action to say, hey, I want to be better, and I'm willing to put my pride to the side. I'm willing to acknowledge that I don't have all the answers, and I don't have all the tools, and I need help. And when you ask, it is given. Like, I need help, and the help will come to you. So I'm so excited to be starting therapy today with Cynthia Branch in Brooklyn, New York. I don't really know what to expect, and I was thinking of a way to be able to include my YouTube followers and subscribers on my journey. And obviously I'm not going to be bringing my camera into therapy, because like I said before, I have to make sure that I'm still creating a divide, and I still have a space that is just mine and my own space to heal. And then it's the way I interpret that healing and, basically regurgitate and tell you guys about, that's the way that I'm willing to share. So what I'm deciding to do is I'm going to create a series around my going to therapy, and it's going to consist of like before and after. So today is my first one, and I guess I woke up a little anxious. Like, what do I expect? Is there going to be a couch? Is there going to be like a bunch of books around? Am I going to be laying down? Am I going to break down? Am I going to cry? Is she going to understand me? Is she going to be sincere? The things that I have packed deep down inside, do I trust her enough to share them? And yeah, those are all the things that I'm thinking about. But I'm also thinking about, like, I know that sometimes we're doing the work on ourselves and we expect for the prize from that work to be something shiny, right? So, okay, I'm going to therapy, so when I leave, I'm going to be fixed. I know that when I go to therapy, sometimes I'm going to leave and I'm going to feel hurt and I'm going to feel maybe broken sometimes, and I'm not going to have the answers, and I'm going to have to acknowledge some things that I have been avoiding, and also confronting people who I haven't wanted or I've been too afraid to confront. So those are the things that are running through my mind. But like I was saying before, sometimes we do work and we just live in a time where we think that the result is going to be quick, or we think that when we get a reward, it's going to be something shiny like a car or like a six-pack or a new relationship. But really what I've been learning, and this week has taught me that for sure, is that sometimes you work hard and the reward for your hard work is just harder work. So we think that if something is falling apart in our lives, like this week for me, it felt like something was falling apart in my life. And we tend to think of that as an excuse to blame ourselves, right? Like, you did something wrong and this is your punishment, or you're not working hard enough, but really you're working so hard that certain things just don't fly anymore. You're working so hard that certain things will fall apart so that you can learn the lesson that you need to learn. And going back to just believing that everything that is happening for you and never to you. And when you're going through it, it's always really hard to go back to that and think that, but things really do happen for you. That choke kind of like messed up my flow. But things really do happen for you, and I believe that wholeheartedly. And all the times this week where I've gotten really low and dark and kind of like mean to myself or hard on myself, I had to realize that I don't get to choose how the lessons come. I don't get to choose whether they come wrapped up in a shiny package or whether they come in the form of something being completely blown up into smithereens. I just get to choose how I'm going to acknowledge what happened and how I'm going to relate it into the bigger picture of my life. Because no matter what, everything for me and my eyes, and I hope that other people are able to think this way, everything happens for the greater good. Everything, even when it hurts so bad, it happens for the greater good in life. And when you think about things like that, that's the only way to be optimistic and constructive and to move forward and to move, you know, upward. So that's where I am with it. It is, let me see, I think it's about 8:27. I told myself that I'm going to leave here by 8:30, and I just wanted to talk to you guys. I told you that I would be consistent on YouTube, so this is my being consistent. Everything is not perfect. I don't have my camera, but I want to continue this journey because I know that it's important for us as people, especially as people of color or as men and women, to go get the help that we need. And oftentimes we're just made to feel like if we go and get help, we're weak, or, you know, getting help and seeing someone is a luxury. And to be honest, like, I scraped my bank account to be able to go see this woman today. And it's not about priorities. Like, my priorities are very straight. I am at the top finally of my own priority list. And I know that seeking help and getting to understand who Christina really is as a person is an investment. So if we're going to talk about money, I'm going to be able to connect more and make more money and understand, why is it that you are okay with struggling? Not okay, but why do you continue to struggle? Like, these are the questions that I need guidance through so that I don't have to continue to go through this shit for the rest of my life. The issue is that people are willing to go through things for the rest of their life. They rather go through the same thing over and over and over and settle than to get to the core of what the problems are. Because sometimes getting to the core of what the problems are, not only is it work, but sometimes it's having to admit that you are in your own way and having to admit that you can't blame everything on mom and on dad or on the person who beat you. You can't blame everything on those people. You have to start to, especially as adults, it's time that we take accountability and we start to look inward and say, like, okay, this keeps happening because of me. This keeps happening because I'm allowing it to happen. This keeps happening because I think that these are the things that I deserve. Why do I feel less than? Why don't I feel like I deserve more? Why don't I feel like I deserve a better job or a better relationship? Why don't I feel like I should treat my body better, like I should eat better, like I should exercise? All of those things. At the end of the day, when we get to the root of things, we have to be able to say, okay, I don't want this anymore. I want better, I deserve better, and I'm willing to do anything to be better. So my going to therapy is me making that statement for myself, is like, Chris, you deserve to stop your pain. You don't have to keep on going through the things that you're going through. You don't have to keep on abusing yourself. When we talk about abuse, like, what are the ways that I'm not kind to myself? And not being kind to yourself is very vast, because it can be, like I said before, continuing to struggle and continuing to make yourself suffer or punish yourself. And sometimes we don't acknowledge it because we're just living life. But in this week for me, just taking time to be still and taking time away from work, even though I really needed money, but just taking time to say, okay, you're at a crossroads in your life right now. So what the fuck are you gonna do? So I decided that I'm just going to go get help. So my therapist, her name is Cynthia Branch. Please look forward to me sharing her with you guys. She's not a secret. I'm very excited that she's Black and Puerto Rican, just like myself. So I know that it's important that people find therapists who they can identify with. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm just excited about the breakthroughs that are coming. I know that I'm in the middle of a huge breakthrough, and I look forward to sharing with you guys, answering your questions, kind of demystifying what therapy is about. And I'm a super hyper creative, so I'll find creative ways to bring you guys in the room with me and kind of like get to know what therapy is like, so that you can start to go on a mission to find your own therapist and get the help that you need. So thank you for listening. Every day is Christmas, and I guess this video was gonna kind of be like a before, a vlog during at some point, meeting my therapist, and then an after, where I share with you like kind of what we talked about, what it was like, how I felt, and like the work that I know that I have to continue to do. So peace and love, peace, love. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys soon. Step towards just really elevating and getting to the next level of my life. And today is my first day of therapy. So if you watched my live, I told you all about it. And I'm literally around the corner, of course.
In fact, it says.
Sunflowers are my symbol, and they're very significant to me. And every time I see them, especially like on a day like today, I feel like it's just the universe telling me that I'm on the right path, I'm doing the right thing, and I am aligned. Flowers are really dope because they're a symbol of optimism. Like when they are in a field, they turn their heads towards the sun and their backs towards the darkness. And I feel like that's like who I really am as a person. I just choose to see the better things. I made it, and I don't know, I guess I'll update you guys when I'm done. Just got back from therapy, and I feel proud of myself that I went, but I feel like I needed more time, because y'all know that I was going in just blabbing my mouth. But I know now that I know that I needed someone, and I need someone to really hold me accountable for the things that I'm not strong enough to hold myself accountable for. And I think that's why therapy is important, because we have our own ways to like justify our actions, and we talk to people who know us and who love us and who know the whole story, or feel like they know the whole story, and they want to protect us, and it doesn't always benefit us or do us justice, because we need someone who's on the outside who can really see the problems for what they are. And it's interesting because she literally said exactly what my Reiki healer told me, and which is I have a lot of trauma in my heart that I haven't acknowledged or dealt with, and that is causing me to like not trust myself at the end of the day. And I'm not gonna like tell you guys every single thing that I talk about in therapy, because there's some things that are for me, but just in general, there's some things that I do feel comfortable sharing, and those are the things that I will share because I feel like they'll be valuable for you as well. The things that we did talk about was just basically like who I am on social media, and like why I am so transparent, and the way that I express myself and express my love. And it's because I'm expressing myself in a way because I want that in return from people. Talk a lot about keeping it moving, right? You know, if something's not making me happy, people, places, things, I keep it moving. But there's a difference between keeping it moving and running away from things. When you keep it moving, you accept them, you digest them, and you make a choice. I got cut off, but when you digest things, then you can say, okay, I made my decision on this, I'm keeping it moving. But running away is just literally not even processing it, cutting it off, and then just acting as if it didn't happen. And it's not working for me. It's really not. So I've already recorded my post-therapy video. I did a pre-therapy video today and a post-therapy video, and that will be up on YouTube tomorrow. And also I'm thinking about just like making a whole nother video diary on just like how my week has been. Really just walked through the door, coming back home from my first ever therapy session. And first I would like to say that I love my therapist so far. She is very relatable. She made me feel very comfortable. And when I first walked in, it was like a couch and she had a chair and we just talked for like an hour straight. I feel like the session went so quickly because I talked about a lot of things, and I would say that it was easy for me to be transparent about the things that I've been transparent about, but there were some areas that we kind of like touched on, and those areas being like me having to be accountable for instances where I hurt other people, even though it wasn't my intention, even though, you know, I feel and believe that I am a good person, it still doesn't give me license to hurt other people and not take accountability for it. So I think where I'm at now is realizing that I talk a lot, and I always say that. I talk a lot, and though I help people when I'm talking, it's also an instance of why am I talking so much? What am I hiding from in terms of like myself and my own healing? Who and what am I running away from? And you know, she brought that up in our session, and it was just like, I'm a runner, and when things hurt me, when people hurt me, I get away from those things and those people. I don't deal with them, I run away from them. And yeah, I just took the time. It's funny because as soon as I got there, my phone died and she didn't have a charger, and I forgot to bring my charger with me. So I was able to, like, when I first left, not hop on the phone and like call my best friend, which I always do, to like tell her about my experience and how I felt. I had to like just take that hour ride home alone in silence and just being introspective and being still and sitting with my thoughts. So right now, like, I'm very happy and grateful that I went, but I also feel like very low energy. I feel like I have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of trauma and like a lot of pain that I haven't dealt with, and in order for me to deal with it, I have to feel it. And she asked me like, what makes you happy? But then she also asked me, what makes you sad, or what brings you down? And the truth is like, I never really give myself an opportunity to be down. And when I'm down, I'm really, really down, because for me to get really down, something huge has to happen, and then everything like piles on top of one another, and it literally like paralyzes me and cripples me. But I don't know how to just feel feelings in the moment and feel them, you know, understand them, relate to them, and then breathe and let them go. I just avoid them and avoid them and avoid them until they literally knock the breath out of me. So I halfway feel the breath is knocked out of me, but I also feel like if I think about what it means to be tough, like I have to be tough in the sense of I have to be vulnerable through this, and that is really what tough is. That's the really tough and hard thing to do, is to like be vulnerable with my own self and to acknowledge the people, the places, the things, the events that have really caused me major pain and have caused me to in turn hurt other people. So that's where I'm at now, and that's like a tough pill to swallow, because no one ever wants to hurt the people that they love. Like, that's really like the last thing I ever want to do, but it's something that I've been doing, and it's something that I've done, and it's something that I want to get a hold of. So I'm going to be seeing my therapist once every 2 weeks. Her name is Miss Cynthia Branch. I'm going to put a link at the bottom of this video. So I want to continue to be able to go to her. I want to continue to be able to afford her. I want to continue to be able to talk you guys through my experience, but I also would like some support in doing so. So if you can, I'm going to put a link in the bio where you can click on and donate and support this chapter that I'm in right now in my life. And I'm excited to do the work, and I'm excited for the breakthrough, and I'm excited to gain the knowledge and like emotional vocabulary to like, yes, help myself, but really like help my son and be an example to my son for how to properly heal through things, because I know that I can't protect him from everyone and everything as much as I want to, and as much as we want to as parents to protect our children. Like, it's just life. He's going to be hurt, but I want to give him the tools that he needs to like be able to understand that and acknowledge when he is hurt, and then go and seek the help that he needs. And then furthermore, I want to be able to help people who feel the way that I feel, who are frustrated with going through the same battles over and over and feeling the same hurt over and over again. Like, how do we acknowledge our pain and work through our pain and continue to live happy, healthy lives? So that's where I'm at. So thank you for watching my first episode. I think on the next one, when it comes to therapy, I'm gonna ask my therapist if it's okay, but kind of just like show you guys like what the office looks like, show you guys maybe without audio, like just her sitting in her chair and like what it looks like from my point of view, because I really want to like demystify this whole idea of like what therapy is and like what it looks like for people who are too afraid to go get the help that they need. So peace and love. I'm on my way to go speak at a school literally in 30 minutes, so I need to like get my life and get my zen together, so that I can still do the work that I'm doing, like me going to therapy and me going through this emotional phase in my life, or this discovering more and more depth of who I am, doesn't mean that I'm still not doing the work that I was put here to do. So, you know, simultaneously, what's the quote? You're allowed to be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. So that's your girl. I'll see you guys later. Peace and love. Take care of yourselves. Be light, be love. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.